Hi, everyone, and welcome to this podcast on the upcoming Early Years Foundation Stage Safeguarding Reforms. My name is Olivia Mcneill, and I'm a Senior Policy Advisor at the Department for Education, and I've been leading on the recent consultation on proposals to strengthen safeguarding requirements for early years settings. So I'll start with some background to the safeguarding reforms. DfE continually monitors and reviews the safeguarding requirements that are set out in Section 3 of the statutory Early Years Foundation Stage framework. This is the framework that registered early years providers are required to follow when caring for children from birth to 5. Following extensive engagement with sector and safeguarding experts, we developed a number of proposed changes to the EYFS to ensure the safeguarding requirements are comprehensive and suitably robust to help providers keep children as safe as possible. We consulted on proposals between the 22nd of April and the 17th of June 2024 and received 1,470 responses. We've now published our official response to the consultation on gov.uk. The consultation found strong support from respondents for all of the proposals we consulted on, with clear consensus that the safeguarding reforms will improve children's safety and align with current best practice in earlier settings. Based on consultation responses, ministers have decided to proceed with implementing all of the consultation proposals, with minor changes to the wording of some of these for additional clarity. Additionally, we'll also implement new whistleblowing requirements and new expectations to provide employment references. Our hope is that these EYFS changes will provide early years educators with the clarity and support they need to deliver the highest quality, safest early education and childcare provision possible. So I'm going to run through the key proposals that we'll be implementing in the next few slides. For further details on each of the safeguarding proposals individually, including the responses to the consultation and the reasons behind the decisions made, please take a look at the government's consultation response. To start, we're implementing EYFS changes to promote safer recruitment. So this includes new requirements to obtain employment references, expectations to provide employment references, and a new requirement for safeguarding policies to include procedures to help ensure that only suitable individuals are recruited. There was strong support from consultation respondents for the proposals on safer recruitment, with the majority indicating that obtaining references will improve children's safety and align with what many settings already do. Many respondents also suggested this change will help them employ the best staff. However, some concerns were raised about obtaining references prior to interviews. Therefore, we changed the wording of this proposal so that references must be obtained before employment. This will still help ensure safer recruitment while preventing delays to employment. Additionally, some respondents expressed concerns about collecting meaningful, timely references in the earlier sector. That's why we're proceeding with new expectations to provide references containing details of any safeguarding concerns in a timely manner. This will align with what's expected in schools and further enhance safer recruitment practices. We're implementing EYFS changes on child absences. This includes requirements for providers to follow up if a child is absent for a prolonged period of time, requirements for having an attendance policy, and amendments to ensure that providers hold additional emergency contact details. Consultation responses provided evidence of strong support for the proposals on child absences, with the majority of respondents indicating that following up on absences will improve children's safety and align with what many settings already do. Some respondents raised questions about what it means for an absence to be prolonged and asked whether we could assign a timeframe to this. We haven't done that, and that's because the EYFS wording is written to give flexibility for providers to use their professional judgment to decide what constitutes as prolonged. This will be different for every child. Consideration must be given to patterns and trends in a child's absence, their vulnerability, their family and home life. Some respondents raised concerns about difficulties collecting emergency contact details for some families. For example, those who've recently arrived from abroad or those who speak English as an additional language. As the wording for this new EYFS expectation is should rather than must, providers are required to take this guidance into account and should not depart from it without a good reason. This offers flexibility for cases where it's not possible to collect more than 2 emergency contact numbers. We're implementing EYFS changes to promote safer eating, including a new safer eating section in the EYFS with new requirements around allergies and anaphylaxis, introduction of solid foods, and choking prevention. Again, consultation responses provided evidence of strong support for all of the proposals on safer eating, with the majority of respondents indicating that the new safer eating section will improve children's safety and align with what many settings already do. Based on responses, we've made a minor amend to the structure of the safer eating section, moving the new requirement to have a PFA-trained member of staff present when children are eating to the top of the new section. This will highlight the importance of the PFA requirement for ensuring the safety of children during eating. We're implementing EYFS changes to safeguarding training, including a new annex setting out minimum requirements for effective safeguarding training to make it easier to understand what safeguarding training courses must cover. We're also implementing a safeguarding training renewal period of every 2 years and a requirement for safeguarding policies to include details of how safeguarding training is delivered, including how practitioners are supported to put it into place. There was strong support through the consultation for the safeguarding training proposals. We originally proposed that safeguarding training must be renewed every 3 years and that providers should consider whether staff need to undertake an annual refresher within that 3-year period. Most consultation respondents felt that safeguarding training should be renewed annually for safety reasons. However, there were also clear concerns raised about the burdens of more regular training on providers. Therefore, we're implementing a renewal period of every 2 years to strengthen safety further while reducing the burdens that annual training would put on providers. With this shorter renewal period, providers may consider an annual refresher will be less necessary for all staff. The wording of the expectation on annual refreshers will be amended to reflect this, with should replaced by may. There were concerns raised about the availability and quality of existing training opportunities and calls for more accessible, high-quality safeguarding training. Therefore, we'll continue to consider what more we can do to support the sector with undertaking safeguarding training. We're implementing EYFS changes to paediatric first aid training, including amendments to ensure that earlier students and trainees are required to have PFA training in order to be included in ratios at the level below their level of study. The consultation found evidence of strong support for this, with the majority of respondents indicating that it will improve children's safety. Some respondents raised concerns relating to the costs and recruitment barriers it potentially poses. However, the department already recommends that providers consider PFA certification when considering if practitioners are competent and responsible, which is an existing requirement in the EYFS. This PFA training proposal will make DfE's existing expectation explicit in the EYFS. Some respondents expressed concerns about including students and volunteers in staffing ratios, as in some cases, these individuals may lack the necessary experience and confidence to handle first aid emergencies. However, I want to be clear that there's no requirement to include students and volunteers in ratios, and only if they are included will they need a PFA certificate. We're implementing EYFS changes to make it clearer when and how to escalate safeguarding concerns and to support practitioner confidence with regards to whistleblowing. Consultation respondents asked for clear and comprehensive guidance in the EYFS on whistleblowing to help ensure that all early years practitioners understand when and how to escalate concerns. Respondents also expressed the need to establish clear feedback mechanisms for staff who report concerns to ensure transparency and accountability in the handling of all safeguarding issues. Based on responses, we'll implement new requirements that align with what's expected in schools and help ensure that children are kept as safe as possible. We're implementing EYFS changes to ensure that children's privacy during nappy changing and toileting is considered and balanced with safeguarding considerations. Consultation respondents strongly supported this proposal. A small number of respondents raised concerns around balancing the proposed new requirement for privacy during toileting and nappy changing with ensuring adequate supervision of children in their care, in particular for childminders who often work alone and have more constrained staffing. Some respondents discussed concerns about the impact of the proposal on safeguarding against potential child abuse and allegations against staff, suggesting that maintaining visibility and public settings during these routines enhances both child and staff safety. This proposal is clear that children's privacy must be balanced with safeguarding. In some cases, such as for lone childminders, this may mean a childminder meeting the requirement by using themselves or a privacy screen to shield a child and maintain their privacy, while still ensuring adequate supervision and safety for other children. We want to give the sector time to prepare for these mandatory changes before they come into force. Therefore, the Department is aiming to bring the changes in for the 1st of September 2025. Ahead of then, we'll carry out a programme of communications and engagement, working with the sector and local authorities to ensure they understand the changes being made and how to implement them. One great way of engaging with us is through foundation years. If you aren't already registered, you can sign up via the website. By registering, you'll receive monthly newsletters, news flashes, and information of events being held and podcasts. We already have information and support on there to help you understand the changes being made. And do keep an eye out for further upcoming events and podcasts explaining the changes. The Department's Help for Early Years Providers website also offers guidance for people who work in early years. This includes guidance on food safety and internet safety, alongside a whole range of other topics. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me talk through the consultation response and the upcoming EYFS changes. We really appreciate your engagement and help in spreading the word further across the sector.